This high intensity workout will get your heart rate pumping. Starting off with a push to overhead press. This is great for full body stimulation, working predominantly the chest and shoulders, but also you're targeting your quads and your core to stabilize your body. Aim for about 30 seconds per exercise and keep the transitions fast. Moving on to a renegade row. The muscle groups we're targeting here are predominantly your lats, biceps, core and your glutes. Keep your abs stable and drive your elbows back. Pause briefly at the top and then sink directly into a push-up for chest work as well. Moving quickly on to 3 exercises to target your chest, starting with an alternating chest press. Focus on pushing your elbows outwards, pause briefly at the bottom and top to squeeze your chest hard. Move on to a standard chest press, where squeezing hard at the top and pausing briefly at the bottom. Moving on to a chest fly, we're going to stretch the chest as hard as we physically can. Focus on pushing your elbows out. Pause briefly at the bottom and the top. Avoid any swinging to avoid momentum building. From here, let's move into some core work. Focusing on stretching your abdominals and squeezing them as hard as you can. With this weighted crunch, make sure you lengthen your body, driving your arms back and straightening your legs. Pause briefly as your arms and legs are fully extended. Let's move on to your glutes with a glute bridge. Keep your toes turned up. Pause briefly at the top, squeeze hard as you can through your glutes. Pause briefly at the bottom, but don't drop down too hard. Make sure that you are keeping a steady tempo throughout. The next one is a single leg glute bridge. I find this good to target the upper part of my glute. Again, with this one, keep the tempo controlled. Don't crash down too hard at the bottom and squeeze as hard as you can at the top for maximum contraction. Moving on to shoulders with a seated overhead shoulder press. I find this a good exercise to target my delts, but also stabilize my core. Make sure that you tense your abs firmly on this one and don't lean too far back, so keep maximum tension on your shoulders. Okay, moving into a standing position with a dumbbell row. We're going to be targeting the lats on this one with an alternating row. Focus on driving your elbows back and pausing briefly and squeezing through your lats. Ensure you tense your abs for maximum stability. Moving on to a rear delt row, targeting the rear part of the back. Pause briefly, squeeze hard and allow a slow descent. To some legs, we have a forward lunge. Just ensure that your feet are about shoulder width apart. Lunge forward, ensure you have about 90-degree bend on both knees. Pause briefly at the top and then push hard back through your front heel to drive your weight back and insert force through your glutes. Moving into a squat to overhead press. Therefore, we're going to target the quads predominantly on this exercise as we load them up as we descend into the squat, but also overhead pressing, working slight anterior delts. The next exercise will be a combo movement, working predominantly your biceps. However, we're going to be working part of the quads here as we do a reverse lunge into a bicep curl. Just ensure that you have a pause at the bottom as you curl and get the squeeze through your upper arm to get that squeeze through the biceps. Make sure that you have enough distance between the front and back leg also. And quickly into a floor-based movement, tricep extension, working your triceps. Just ensure that your elbows are slightly behind your shoulders. Make sure you pause at the top, extend your elbow fully, and then have at least a 90-degree bend at the bottom to lengthen your triceps to get maximum contraction on your arms. A close grip press to work predominantly your chest, but also some triceps here. Just ensure that you have at least a 90-degree bend on your elbow at the bottom, pause at the top and bottom and squeeze hard through your chest. And the final exercise is back to a core-based movement to train your obliques. Make sure that you have at least a squeeze at the top and tense your abs as hard as you can.